All right, what's going on, guys? Try back again, here to bring you another video, another stream, another live stream. How are you guys doing? Let's see if we can do a stream tonight. We'll just have to see if that's good. And just let me know if anybody can hear me. Let me know if you guys are good for audio. Once we have someone join, that is. Let's see here. Okay. All right, we got L2 Extreme and we got Tara McKinley Rettam. We got John Cullen, who's good. L2 Extreme is here. We got Ricky Chen. We got Kyle BWG. We got R. Perez. How's it going, man? We got Holly Norman Music. Hey, Holly. Eve Q, how you doing? And yeah, man, so good stuff. Thank you guys for joining. Sorry we're a little bit late. We're late for a very important date. But don't know if we're going to go down the rabbit hole in this one. We'll probably just stick with Walking Dead at least for a little bit. Hey, L2, I'm doing good, man. Just got back from getting groceries. Dylan, what's up? And we got God Shacky Sack 1 who says, hey, so that's good. So, yeah, so the topic for this live stream, and hey, Kathy just joined too, Kathy Voss, so that's good. So the topic for this live stream that we'll get into is the Walking Dead Christmas special. So if you guys didn't know, they're doing a sort of Walking Dead Christmas special. Apparently, it's going to be streaming after tonight. Or it's streaming, let's see, the 13th. Okay, let's read the article and then we'll give thoughts. So it says, the newest episode of Walking Dead will be a change of pace for fans as past and present cast members are set to reunite for the first ever Walking Dead holiday special streaming today. So it's Sunday, December 13th, exclusively on AMC+. And it says the episode will be done in the style of Talking Dead, with a virtual reunion being hosted by Chris Hardwick, gathering the cast and producers of The Walking Dead, including many fan favorites who haven't been seen in the show for a while. The special is set to reflect on the history of The Walking Dead and tease what's coming in the future as the universe continues to expand. The Walking Dead showrunner Angela Kang and franchise chief content officer Scott Gimple will also be on hand to, quote, reveal exclusive info about the series' return in 2021. The special includes, okay, so we also have, they also did post a video, I think, with Beth, Emily Kinney, returning, and there was some stuff on the AMC channel for that. Well, she's returning for, not in the show, but for, the Talking Dead segment stuff for it. So really, it sounds like the special is kind of like a Talking Dead episode. So I don't think they're going to count it as an actual episode in the series or anything like that. But it said, so previously announced cast members include Lauren Cohan, who's Maggie, Melissa McBride, Carol, Josh McDermott, Eugene, Kari Payton, King Ezekiel, Eleanor, Matsura, which is Yumiko, and let's just go by their show names, okay, because everyone knows those. Jerry, Lydia, Connie, Judith, and former Walking Dead stars Emily Kinney, Beth, and Rowan Singleton, who was T-Dog, but you guys got to remember back to like the first few seasons. I like T-Dog. He was good, right? Because didn't he? Right. He sacrificed himself to save Carol. So that's good, right? So we've seen everything Carol does afterwards. So T-Dog helped us out. He saved Carol, and Carol has saved the group after that probably several times over. So T-Dog shall live in infamy. And Beth does too. Beth has a lot of fans too, still as well. The special includes Kinney's performance on Up on the Housetop, a parody of the 12 Days of Christmas by Peyton Andrews, Matt Sura, and McClincy. As an additional stocking stuffer, the special will debut an exclusive new table read from Diverged, giving fans a peek from one of the 6 new season 10 episodes airing early next year on AMC. The holiday special will debut only on AMC Plus streaming bundle after midnight on Sunday, December 13th. So I'm a little confused with this. So it says, so after midnight on Sunday, December 13th. So does that mean it's aired this morning? Does that mean after midnight tonight? I don't know. Someone check your AMC Plus streaming since we're going through this and let me know if it's already streaming or if that means it's tonight after midnight tonight. like once we pass, 2.5 hours from now. So once we pass 12 o'clock, then you'll be able to watch the streaming show after that. The special is a streaming exclusive and will not air on AMC Network like traditional episodes of Talking Dead. And they did get into, I think, you can watch it on Amazon Prime if you have the Amazon Prime AMC Plus streaming bundle. So not exactly sure. I'm going to have to investigate further myself and see if I can get signed up for this here in Canada and how this would work and everything. Because a lot of the new streaming stuff in the States, people in other countries can't necessarily get it. There's region restrictions and stuff like this. So I'll have to check and see for that. But I'll be interested to watch it. That does sound fun, for kind of a Christmas special for Walking Dead, for a Talking Dead episode. It could be cool. And I think that's a good idea to bring some of the fan favorites back that were in the show before, kind of back in to do some of these episodes. So it's not a bad thing. Rob Frank said it's T-Dog's fault. Tyrese's girlfriend died. That was oh damn it. What was her name? No, it's his fault because he saved Carol and then Carol lit him on fire. What was it Karen? What were the names of them? Right, the people that Carol killed and set on fire. I'm trying to think what were their names, right? Someone give it. Karen, and was the other one David? Is that right? Because isn't there an actress named Karen David? Is she in Fear? I think so. What was the guy's name who was with Karen? Yeah, Karen and David, and then we have Karen David in Fear. Is that right? I feel like my brain's making a mistake. Maybe that's a weird coincidence, but possible. Yeah, Karen and David, right? And there's Karen David in Fear the Walking Dead. So I'm not tripping. That is actually what they what they have. So that's the Walking Dead, Christmas special, which could be kind of cool. Now there is also sort of an unofficial Walking Dead Christmas special, which is Rick Grimes, or Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick, is also doing a thing where he's Scrooge. So Christmas Carol live. So it's a Walking Dead star. Andrew Lincoln is Ebenezer Scrooge in a Christmas Carol performed and streamed live from the Old Vic Theater now through December 24th. Part of the Old Vic in-camera series. I have no idea what this is, guys. I really have no idea what this is. This is probably an English thing or something. Charles Dickens' timeless classic comes to life as a full-scale production with live musicians, theatrical lighting, and cast of 18 performs led by Lincoln, director Matthew Warchus. Production of Jack Thorne's A Christmas Carol is a 2-hour performance with a 10-minute interval and is now available to stream daily at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, GMT. Tickets are now available via the Old Vic Theater website with pricing ranging between $20 and $65. All ticket prices offer the same view and only one ticket. What is going on here? Is required per household. The Old Vic asks customers to consider purchasing a higher price ticket if viewing on the same screen with a group. So A Christmas Carol is performed twice most nights and runs until the final show on Thursday, December 24th at 1 p.m. All scheduled performance times are available to view on the Old Vic website, and that's VIC. So apparently Andrew Lincoln is playing Scrooge in A Christmas Carol, which is streamed via what I now know is called the Old Vic in-camera series. So there's a cast of 18 people, including Andrew Lincoln. Does he just miss doing theater? I think that's what's happening here. Thorne's A Christmas Carol, a 2-hour performance with 10-minute intervals, and is now available to stream daily at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So tickets are now available via the Old Vic Theater website. So I guess if you guys are interested in watching Andrew Lincoln or Rick play Scrooge, you can watch it via what's called Old VIC Theater, Old Vic website. You can purchase tickets and watch, I guess, a live theatrical performance if you're into that kind of thing now until December 24th. at 1 p.m. GMT. You have to convert for time zones as well, too, depending on where you live. So I don't know what to say about that. A Christmas Carol, I guess. Maybe he just missed doing theater, so he wanted to do something theater. Well, he certainly doesn't need the money or anything. Let's be honest with that, right? He certainly doesn't need the money. So I guess maybe he just wanted to do some stuff that he, was passionate about and that he enjoys doing, and maybe theater is one of those things that Andrew Lincoln wanted to do. So that's kind of some details about what the Scrooge deal is. I'm not so this is the thing with me, right? It's like I love entertainment in terms of like movies, TV series, stuff like that. But I'm actually not that big of a fan of theatrical plays and stuff like that. And I understand that they're part of like theater is kind of where it all started from. So you're sort of like live theater is kind of what eventually evolved into TV series and into movies and stuff like that. But so I don't know, maybe it's an English thing. I don't know. So let me know what you guys think about that. I just don't know. I miss seeing Andrew Lincoln play Rick. Him playing Scrooge sounds cool. I guess, we all have, you can do what you want to do, right? Like if that's something you're interested in and he feels passionate about it, he wants to do, then he decided to go ahead and do it. I guess killing zombies year after year after year in America, going to the US to kill zombies every year could get old. So he wants to do Scrooge and in a theater play, which you can watch online. And, he wants to do Penguin Bloom and stuff like that. So that's his choice. It's his career, what he wants to do. It's cool. But we certainly do miss seeing him as Rick, and we want to see him again as Rick. So I don't know if, I guess you guys can look at the Old Vic Theater production from England. Yeah, it's probably one of those like kind of maybe, can I say high society play? Well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but sort of one of those old, kind of like British things. And I know where it all started from, all that stuff. I'm just not, I don't know. I'm not particularly a big theater guy. Like I'm not in the old school theater drama thing, that's, but I understand a lot of people who are actors, actresses, in the movies and whatnot, they start with Broadway shows and they start with these kind of things. So, and I guess that's something they have like some of them have a big time passion for. So that's cool and everything. It is kind of funny to see like the difference between his, him being in Walking Dead and being in like this really dark series, killing zombies, doing all this dark, crazy stuff, blood everywhere and the undead and everything like this. And then to see him go from that to Scrooge in like a Christmas Carol, where there's probably singing in the whole. I imagine there probably is singing and dancing and stuff too, right? Because that's part of it too, right? So it's weird to see him go from, that the Rick role of doing all the stuff he had to do, killing zombies, killing people, stuff like this, to switch from that kind of dark style of storytelling to a Christmas Carol theatrical play, song and dance and the whole bit. Probably. Maybe I'm filling the blanks, and maybe there won't be any singing. But usually with theatrical plays, there's a song and dance aspect to it too, right? So I don't know. It's not my thing, right? So, but I get it. It's cool. He wants to do it, whatever. Penguin Bloom, same kind of thing. Good wholesome family stuff. So is it fair to say that maybe his interests and the interests of fans of The Walking Dead are not quite the same? Like in terms of what he's interested in and what he likes to do, kind of that lighter, kind of more heartwarming type of stuff, Christmas Carol and things like that. Penguin Bloom, which is going to be airing next month on Netflix, I think. In January, Penguin Bloom will be on Netflix if you want to see him in Penguin Bloom. Is it fair to say that the things that he's interested in are not exactly the things that Walking Dead fans are interested in? Is that fair to say? Write some comments about that. Yeah, and Merry Christmas to all you guys. Merry Christmas, Jackie. Merry Christmas to all of you guys out there and stuff. And if you're interested, check out Old Vic's theater website, and you can watch Rick play Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. So I imagine Bruce said that Norman Reedus probably ribs him all the time now. I imagine he probably does, right? Because you got Norman, right? So he's like riding around on motorcycles. He's hanging out with Marilyn Manson and shit like that. and then you got Andrew Lincoln, who in real life, he's like, I want to play Scrooge and get in this song and dance theatrical play, and I want to do Penguin Bloom and stuff like that. It's like, this didn't exactly work out how I thought it was going to, right? Dwighty Boy asked me, Trev, why does your wife put pictures of you in the shower on Twitter? I don't know. Did she post those pictures? I'm like so this is what happens, guys. I'm like having a shower, right, doing my stuff. And she just comes up with a camera and she shower bombs me. She comes up with a camera and she opens the thing and takes a picture of me in the shower. I'm like, what the F are you doing? I didn't know she was going to post it. I'll have to talk about this with her after. I don't necessarily, want pictures of me in the shower when I'm just doing my stuff, posting on, on Twitter. Thank you for letting me know, Dwighty Boy. I remember her taking the picture, but I didn't know she was going to post it. Oh my goodness. He was in Love Actually. Danielle brought up a good point, which is that Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick, was in Love Actually, and it was kind of a corny sort of one of those type of series. So isn't that funny? Like, you would have never known that he liked that, like he liked doing that stuff, considering his role on Walking Dead. Like, if you just saw Rick on Walking Dead and Andrew Lincoln in Walking Dead, you would never know that he likes to also do, those other things, like Love Actually, the silly, well, maybe I should call it silly. I know a lot of people like live theater. They like the singing. They like the presentation. They like the performance. That's their thing. It's just can you imagine like Walking Dead in theater? I don't want to give them any ideas, but can you imagine like Walking Dead in theater, like Walking Dead with zombies? And I don't mean theater like movie theater. I mean like a play theater, like they come out and there's zombies and they do like some song and I don't want to give them ideas, but like some song and dance or something. And, can you imagine that? Oh my God. It's like, even when I was a kid, there was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They were like the biggest thing of the early 90s for kids around that age. And they're even still around now, but they're not as good as, Turtle stuff is not as good as it was in the early 90s. In the early 90s, it was a phenomenon. It was crazy and people loved it. But they did Coming Out of the Shells tour, where they did a theatrical, it was in a Masonic temple, right? Masonic theater. Yeah, it was. It was a Masonic temple. Let's not get into the reason why that is. But anyway, so they did a Coming Out of Their Shells tour, and the Turtles were like playing instruments and they were singing, and Splinter would come on. He'd sing a song about how he loves everybody and all this stuff. And then Shredder would come on and you'd have like the theater, bum, 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 and all this stuff. I understand that's where our, TV and movies came from. It's just kind of strange to see, Andrew Lincoln as Rick, who's killing zombies and he gets like Gareth, a machete with a red handle, and he's 4 walls on a roof. And then Scrooge and Penguin Bloom. He loves penguins and stuff. I don't know. Penguins are being born. Love Actually, right? So I don't know. Thank you, Justin. Justin Daco Arrow sent through our first super chat. So thank you, Justin, for that. Have a Merry Christmas to you and your family, Justin. And did you have a question or comment you want me to read with regards to Andrew Lincoln doing a live Scrooge Christmas Carol play? Anyway, he's like one of my favorite actors in the world. So after playing Rick, so I don't want to hate on him or anything. You guys get what I'm saying, right? It's cool what it is. Yeah, I don't see Rick as Scrooge. Well, Jackie, tune in to the Old Vic Theater website, and you'll get to see Rick as Scrooge. So, yeah, Sweaty. Sweaty said, the Turtles are Luciferian confirmed. They were in a Masonic temple play. Yeah, I looked it up. I was looking up Coming Out of Their Shells tour, and it was in a Masonic temple. Well, let's not get into why that is or anything, or why there's, Freemasons are absolutely everywhere and everything. It's ridiculous, but let's not get into why that is anyway. Okay, back to the Christmas stuff. So Christmas Carol, check it out if you want to see it. There it is. So yeah, The Walking Dead Christmas special. I think it's on after midnight tonight. AMC Plus streaming. You guys can watch it. I'll see if I can, watch it here where I'm located and stuff. And then maybe, I don't know if it justifies a review. It's like a Talking Dead episode thing. So if it's a Talking Dead episode Christmas special with Emily Kinney on as Beth and her singing and performing and stuff, whatever. Yeah. I'm just not into this stuff. You know what I mean? It's not that I have anything against, artists and song and everything like that. And then you've got Christian Serratos is playing Selena. So it's not that anything against, I understand music is part of the entertainment industry. It's part of all the movies and stuff like that. Not everything people get into after Walking Dead are we necessarily going to get into, right? Not necessarily. So it's just what it is, but it's cool. So anyway, so that's the deal with the Christmas special. I'm happy they're doing it. It does sound cool. And we'll see if it turns out to be any good, right, guys? So check that out. If you're interested, you can watch that. And if not, then that's cool. Maybe I'll try to watch it. I don't know if I'm going to pay $20, do they call it quid? Is that what they call it? 20 pounds? 20 pounds for it to watch it. Because what is 20 pounds? That's like 30 or 40 bucks to watch it live, right? So I don't know if it's worth it to watch it. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, so they might bust out the song and dance, and then I'll get upset that I even did it. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, see, Benny said it. See, Benny said, save your cash. Yeah, yeah. It's 2020. What do you expect? Said Sha Lighting, Shabarn. Yeah, we're in Bizarro world now. Alice in Wonderland, right? Everything that would be wood and everything that wouldn't be wood. The upside down, the in and around, inverted universe. Yeah, everything's backwards, right? Exactly. There you go. If they really do a musical episode, I will never watch anything Walking Dead that comes from AMC. Well, Demand Hammer, eventually they're going to do a musical episode. They've already said they're going to do it. It's probably going to be in Fear. Maybe it's okay. I don't know. I'm sort of like, I'm kind of like, I'm sort of feeling like nowadays, like maybe I shouldn't be so rigid. Okay. If they want to do a musical episode, at first I was like, no, don't do that. Your fans won't like it. But it's like, whatever. If you guys want to do a musical episode, okay, fine, whatever. I don't even know how to respond nowadays. It's just like, I give up, whatever. Your mic, is my mic not K6? Nashi says that she can't hear the mic. Can you guys let me know if you can hear me okay? It sounds like some can, but I don't know. This is YouTube streaming, and sometimes streaming is okay. Sometimes it's not. Zim612 says, Trevor, are you going to change to humble? What, me to be humble? Well, I guess I could probably be a little bit more humble, but I don't know. I don't show off that much, do I? Okay, Truly says she can hear it just fine, and Jackie says it's fine. What time is the episode coming out? Well, Skilly Wi-Fi after midnight, apparently tonight, so in a couple hours on AMC Streaming Plus. So if you have that, then it should be fine. Zach Pry wants to know, I hear you into any new shows recently? I just finished The Boys, and it's great. I finished The Boys too, Zach. I love The Boys. I think it's awesome. Hey, Jeff's here. How you doing, Jeff? Happy holidays to you. Merry Christmas. And Merry Christmas to Rob, and Merry Christmas to everybody, the usual guys. Manhammer, thank you guys for joining. You guys have been pretty consistent with joining and stuff like that. All of you guys have been, and gals, who join and like the stream. So thank you for watching and everything. The Boys is awesome. It's fantastic. It's one of the best series I've seen in years. I tried The Mandalorian. I watched season 2, episode 1, and I liked it. I was like, oh, yeah, this is really good, whatever. But after that, I was just like, I don't know. It's okay. I'm not a huge Star Wars guy. I like some Star Wars stuff, but I'm not huge into it. After that, after watching The Boys and stuff, I haven't been watching too many other series right now. I was watching InfoWars a lot and stuff like that, a lot of BitChute stuff. But then I learned about Mind Wars, and I was like, oh, wow, okay, yeah, let's, probably not going to watch that much anymore because it's like, that it's an establishment deal. XX Wally said, Trev, have you seen Return of the Living Dead or George Romero's trilogy? Well, of course, man. Of course, XX Wally. Of course, I've seen them. I've reviewed, I think I've reviewed all of George Romero's stuff. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I intended to do a review of Day of the Dead because it's my favorite zombie movie. 28 Days Later is also fantastic too. So maybe we could do some throwback reviews like 28 Days Later. Just the best ones, right? So the best zombie stuff. The best zombie stuff, I feel like 28 Days Later is like one of the best zombie movies ever. Day of the Dead. And then Return, that's like zombies eating brains and like speaking and stuff like that, right? Return of the Living Dead, is that what it is? That's like an 80s thing, right? I've never reviewed that. I've seen it all. Like I've seen all the zombie stuff pretty much from when I was younger. I mean, some of the B movie stuff I haven't seen. Some of the recent stuff I haven't seen for zombie stuff. What is the one called? Kingdom? Is that what it's called? The Korean one. So I also watched recently The Night Eats the World, which is on Amazon Prime. And it's okay. It wasn't fantastic, but it's called The Night Eats the World. It's in Paris. It's actually pretty cool. It's different. It's kind of like a quiet movie, a lot of it, which is really strange to see. So it's a different take. I thought about doing a review for it, but I didn't get around to it. Okay, let's see what else we got. Train to Busan. Yeah, I've heard that one's really good. I could do a review for that too. Maybe I'll write that down, considering I'm going to try to move away from doing more of the truth-related content. But I do have a new comic coming I'm going to review, which is Department of Truth, which is a really good comic I want to review. It's all about the conspiracy stuff and all that stuff, which I have a huge passion for and I like a lot. But we got to be really careful with that stuff because, like I did the video on this morning, over 8,000 channels banned on YouTube plus, and hundreds of thousands of videos removed. I did get striked. I got a community guideline strike in the channel after I did the identity update video this week of the updates for the identity updates they're going to make for 2021 with the YouTube algorithm. I did a video on it. Basically, they're gonna promote people or demote people based on identity politics, which is really crazy to hear they're doing that. Outrageous, in my opinion. But after I posted that, they striked another one of my videos from like 6 months ago that nobody was watching. So it's sort of like, maybe they felt like they were mad, so they couldn't strike that one. So they went and they striked another one. So I'm just going to be careful. They're really cleaning out the engines. They're really cleaning it out. They don't want any information in the engines that goes against the official narrative of what we're seeing this year, whether it be political, whether it be health related, whether it be whatever's coming up. It's a crackdown online. It's a literal crackdown of social media with regards to maintaining the official narrative in every single category. So, I should do some reviews of some different stuff, like some zombie stuff. Maybe we'll do more Walking Dead stuff like that, just because we got to be really, really careful. And also because it's not going to be reducing. Like somebody said to me, under the new regime in the U.S., when that comes in, as it looks like it's going to, the censorship deal, the crackdown online, it's not going to get less effective. It's going to be even more prominent. It's going to be more effective. They're going to be cracking down on even more channels, more people. They're going to really tighten that up, I think, in the future, because they have to maintain the official narratives. Anything that goes against the official authoritarian truth is misinformation. It's not. Basically, they want to be the be all and end all. Government integrating 100% with online content, with government integrating with social media. So anything that's posted that challenges the governments, particularly the United Nations in particular, not just one country, but the UN in particular, anything that challenges them could be cleared off or banned or deleted. So you can't really challenge our oligarchs, basically, is what it is. So it's becoming more like China. That's what's happening. The West is becoming more like China, is basically how it's going. So that's what it is. We can whine about it if we want to. We can say it's not fair. We can say it's wrong, morally, ethically, whatever. It doesn't matter. That's what's going to happen. So we just have to roll with it. But anyway, want to keep it happy because it is a Christmas video. So let's try and do that. Scuba says, you're going great, Jeff. I'm probably going a little bit gray in some parts. It could also be the light, though. I did change my light, but a little bit, because I'm almost 35 now. I'm 34 and a half roughly. So we're getting there, man. Yeah, thank you, Darcy. Yeah, hit the like button if you guys wouldn't mind. It does help. The more likes we get, the more protected the videos are against being flagged and stuff like that, or banned or whatever. Yeah, socialist media, said XNet PC. It absolutely is, man. The one thing I'm thinking about is I even saw that BitChute is starting to censor content too. And I was like, whoa. So people who get banned from YouTube or banned from other social media, they're going to BitChute and they're going to Parler and they're going to these other options, Library. I use Library to back up my channel. So they're going to these other options. And then those options are starting to come under fire too, because and get censored and get cleaned out of information they don't want getting out there. So it's very, very tricky. It's a very sensitive time right now with all the world changes that are happening. If you look at the Great Reset, then that's going to change things as well too. And they have to, when they're doing all these changes and they're doing all this stuff, they have to keep the narrative going. They have to keep everybody plugged into that narrative, They can't have people starting to figure out certain things, or starting to see there might be some fraudulent things in the system, or there might be some favoritism, or there might be some things that go against the different narratives they're pushing. So that's the real reason for censorship, is to maintain the UN narrative, maintain the global narrative that's being forced upon everybody. And it's unfortunate, but there's nothing at the ground level, grassroots level, regular level, that the people can really do. If you look at some of the protests and stuff like that, people are going out, they're getting angry, they're getting mad, they're protesting, doing all this stuff, but it's not going to really change anything. That's the sad part. So you go out and people are protesting for this political candidate versus this political candidate or whatever. The reality of the situation is that the political candidates, the presidents, prime ministers, they're under this group. And this group is real. They're under this group. They're under the committee. And the committee are the ones who formed the United Nations. Members of it are the ones who formed the World Health Organization, who formed the different foundations and all this stuff, the real global governance. So whoever's in at a country level or at this kind of level, it doesn't really matter that much, man. It's so, in my opinion anyway, the system is so set and it's so sunk in that, there's not much you can really do, and even talking about it is possible to be censored nowadays, right? Like that's what it's coming to, is that even talking about what's happening can get you censored or can get you banned or whatever. So it's like, there's really, might as well just roll with the punches and do what you can do. That's it. What else can you do? If you try doing anything about it, you just get banned, censored, and nobody hears you anyway. So that's just that's what it goes. Yeah, Ostro, it is. Well, like I said, the Turtles coming out of their Shells tour. Back check me if you don't believe me. The coming out of their Shells tour, which we just randomly came up with, is in a Masonic temple. It's performed in a Masonic temple. The entertainment industry, the media, and all of the main media companies are controlled through Freemasonry, ownership, and government agencies, intelligence agencies. That's how it works. And almost every single show that's on television, news anchor, talk show, everything of the sort is all organized and controlled. It's all sorted. The internet was not sorted before. That's what censorship is for. They're coming on the internet because they don't want dissenters in the mainstream. So they have to knock them in line, say, boom, 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 you get in line, you get in line, you get in line, you get in line. And one after another, after another, after another. That's why when something happens in the news on NBC, CNN, MSNBC, Fox might be a little bit different because they seem to be a little bit more lenient with stuff, a little bit better maybe than the other networks with regards to relaying truth. But all the different networks sync up in like a day. They're all saying the same thing. The narrative's all the same, every single different one. And that's because they are controlled by those different entities I just said, and the intelligence agencies are part of that too. They make sure that everybody is towing the line. And the ones that are going against the line are usually controlled too. They're what's called controlled opposition. So they give you a little bit more truth maybe, but then they either take it into crazy land with crazy aliens and stupid shit like this, or Bigfoots and stupid crap like that on purpose to make it look stupid, or they at the end of the special or whatever, say, this is why that's not true. They just battle it back to the narrative, even when they give you a little bit. So the internet had to be reined in, and now it has been. And that's it, but for people that don't want to know about all that information, that's totally fine. They can just stay out of it and think that they're always told the truth about everything, and that's how everything works. That is a very naive mindset. It's extremely naive, and it's not true. And, in terms of objective truth, but I don't want to be labeled as misinformation for going against, the tyrannical, oppressors that we have now, where you can't even communicate properly, through big tech software or sites and whatnot, or you could be banned off. Green F said, I love the truth videos, but wouldn't want you to lose your channel. Yeah, we got to be really careful. You're right. After all these years now, please review The Kingdom and Train to Busan, Trev. Okay. Well, I wrote down Train to Busan and I wrote down Kingdom. So I could definitely do some more reviews for that. Maybe that's what we'll do. It doesn't feel good to get striked and stuff like that, community guideline strikes and stuff like that. But I don't want to be a downer or anything either. It's just, I know exactly why they're doing it. And they're not doing it because it's right or it's ethically, morally, whatever. That's not why they're doing it. They'll say that, but that's not why. The reason why is maintain dominance, maintain the narrative. And through what Mind Wars is, which we went over last weekend, Mind Wars is controlling all the information that people get to control what is termed as architecture, the mental architecture, the building blocks of thought architecture. So thought architecture and the building blocks of how you think is built up based on the information you're given. So the key to censorship is control the information people are given. And when you do that, you are controlling those files or those building blocks that are built up in their mind as architecture. So if you want them to think a certain way, you control the information they receive so those building blocks get built up to how you want them to think, to the direction in which you want them to go. So if you want obedience, you have to, promote obedience and build up that architecture, that mental architecture that everybody has. So that's how it's done. That's part of Mind Wars, which we went into last weekend, which we won't get into right now. It's outside the scope of this video. That took over an hour for us to go into and explain that. You can watch that if you want to see it. But basically, that's what censorship is all about. It's to control the information, to control the architecture that's built up for the people. And that job is of the intelligence agencies and also Freemasons and people of different bloodlines. So that's what that's about. But yeah, we'll definitely review different zombie stuff, and we'll talk more about fictional zombies and not so much about real life zombies, right? It's very sad, Green Ave, but there's nothing you can do about it because I think even Alex Jones went into it one time. He got all pissed off or mad, or he was doing a promo, which means he's just acting, right? But he was saying that what people want is they want beer. Like if you're a guy, for example, you want your beer, you want your chips, you want your television, and you want your sports. And that basically takes the drives of people, especially men, and it puts them into something. And that's important to them. If their sports team wins or loses, that's important to them, so they're into that, right? And basically you're funneling it into somewhere, right? Which is the purpose of sports, really, like entertainment sports entertainment. That's really what the reason for why it's there. It's the Emperor of Rome, the Colosseum. You get the people all together and you have the fights or you have the battles in the Colosseum, right? So that's what we do now with sports is we give people that. In terms of entertainment, it's similar in some ways. We give people entertainment. Some of it's just entertainment, but some of it has, and to keep people keep their minds on stuff, keep them busy with things, give them that kind of distraction. For stuff that we like, that's a passion thing for us. It's fine. It's nothing wrong. And same with the guys who love the sports too. There's nothing wrong with that. But there are controlling aspects or controlling reasons why you have the Roman Colosseum and you have the different entertainment series that we do have. And that's why the intelligence agencies have their fingers in every pie going. Every different TV series on NBC or whatever, it has to toe the party line. If you wanted to come out and do a series which was completely against a current plan or agenda of something they're doing, you would be shut off. You would lose your license for broadcasting. You would be cleared off. So the internet was an area where they didn't have that kind of control, and they do now. So that's what it is. Zim612 said, "Hey, Trev, does voting really matter?" No, it doesn't. Not at all. And I can't really say too much about it, Zim, because that's another area that is also taboo. But because of these guys, it matters locally for local changes. It does not matter globally. If someone in charge does not toe this line, they're out. And that's all there is to it. They are out. And that's what we kind of have seen this year. It doesn't matter what the people want. It doesn't matter. If these guys say you're out, you're out. That's it. It's that simple. You are not coming back in. It does not matter the whole freedom concept or freedom idea. It doesn't matter. You're going to be out one way or another. And if a person refuses, well, then you get into a JFK situation, right? And that's what happens. If you're out, and that's it. So there you go with that. That's my thoughts on that. So no, it doesn't really matter. And that's where it's another sports game, right? Think about the left-right side, the left-right idea. It's another Roman Colosseum. I want this guy to win. No, I want this guy to win. No, I want this gal to win. No, I want this guy to win, who's African-American or whatever, Obama, whatever. I want him to win. No, I want her to win. I want Hillary to win. No, I want this guy to win. It's another thing, but really, you're choosing your lord. You're choosing, as we call here in Canada, your prime minister or your minister for each area to govern. But when the king comes down, when the rulers come down, everybody bends the knee. And just look at this year. It was I thought it was a black magic joke this year that you have everybody all around bending the knee, right, to what we saw in the news there earlier, which I just thought, the guy's a Freemason, so it's like whatever. It's like he's got the big double eagle tattoo on his chest and everything. So it's like, you want the world, you want to see, you want everyone to bend the knee. Well, you just put some stuff in the news. People think it's real. It's WWE, whatever. And all of a sudden, everywhere around the world, people are bending the knee. Every warrior of your sports teams and everything, all across, they're all bending the knee. Right. So one of the people's names, one of the shooters was named Zion Haygood. I don't know if you guys heard about that one this year. There was one who was named Zion Haygood. It's kind of sick in some ways. I have to take a break from it sometimes because it's kind of dark and it's kind of sick. But that's the way it works. That's how it works. It's just covert. That's all. They just figured out that this is stupid. Why are we telling everybody how everything works? Let's take it into the background and make them think that they're free and make them think that it matters and everything. And everyone buys into it. And then you have people online. They're so passionate about getting this guy in or getting that guy in. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. As far as this stuff goes, it doesn't matter. So, Julian wants to know, what does your future look like for us, Trev, in your opinion? It won't be that bad, guys. I know that there's some counterintelligence people who are in this space who try to act like it's all disaster. It's not that bad. It's just, here's what our future looks like. We're going to look more like China. The internet is going to be more policed. Likely, you're going to have to get a health passport. Likely, your health is going to be managed. It's going to be tracked. The number of kids you have will be tracked, most likely. The fMRI scanners, just like the Rockefeller said, will be put almost everywhere. Probably before you go into a grocery store or whatnot, there'll be a piece of tech that you'll have to show your health passport. And if you don't, maybe you either won't be allowed entry or you'll have to do you'll have to have a mask on or whatever. So if you want to take your mask off and you want to do all that stuff, then you're going to have to do what they say. Aside from that, I don't think life's going to change that much. The social distancing stuff won't last forever because, or at least they'll kind of minimize it a bit, I think, because people will get their jabs and then, it'll be mostly the same. I'm not a doom and gloomer. And I also think as far as the VA go, it's I feel like I've got a good understanding of why they're doing all this anyway. It all goes back to what Gil Bates said about the developing countries. He said, if we don't do something, by 2050, they're going to have an impossible situation. And what is that situation? Very simple. They keep going and living freely, and they keep having 5 to 10 kids each, and there's no food, and there's nothing for them to eat, and they have 7 kids and 3 of them starve, or they have 8 kids and 5 of them starve. A few of them survive. You have mass suffering on a scale that maybe has never been seen before. Simply because people don't stop. They have so many in the developing world and they can't feed them. And then you have mass starvation, right? So basically, it's just a question of management. And the UN had to come in and say, we got to manage this. Just like Charles Galton Darwin had said, if spontaneous limitation is not going to happen, and just like Gil Bates said, if we don't do something, this is going to get really ugly, right? And that's what's going to happen. You're going to have too many people. You're not going to have enough food for them. You're not going to have enough resources for them, and it's going to get really ugly. So that's where the health passports come in, all the jabs come in, all the stuff comes in. They're just going to manage it basically. But there's really, people say, oh, do something about it, stop, whatever. You can't, man. You can't. It's like you think whatever. It's like you can't stop what they're doing, man. You can't. You don't have, it's like I see some people online and stuff, and I just think like, man, you're not going to stop these guys, or there's the concept that they're like, this cabal is like a bunch of like whatever ruffian, people with tattoos and whatever, like behind the scenes, like doing seances and stuff. Well, they do some of that too, but then they go back and they sit on their thrones, or they go back and they sit in their, $1 billion mansion or $1 million mansion. These people on the committee and in this league, they're like this idea that they're like some ruffian, like, like regular. No, they're not. We're talking about the super elite here, the elite ruling class, the people who created the United Nations, the people who started the World Health Organization, the people who own the central banks, the people who are in the Royal Society, who are royals. These people are not effing around, and they are not some dark cabal in the background or whatever. I mean, there's that aspect to them. But they're some of the most powerful people in the world. And they are actually the most powerful people in the world. And there really isn't anybody or any group that can stand up to them, in my mind. There's nobody, So that's what it is. But there's not a whole lot you can do about it. And you just hope that what Gil Bates is saying is true, which is that they were going to have an impossible situation in those developing countries. So they got to come in and manage it. This is what they came up with to manage it. So that's that. There's a number of steps involved in that, but it is a bit like Gotham there, Greg. It's a bit like that. It's just that, I mean, what are you going to do, man? What's the average person going to do? We're not a part of any kind of organized society like the Masons are, or like the Royals are, or these groups are. We have need for daily bread. We have to go to work every day. We have to do our jobs every day. We have to do our stuff all the time. We have to watch what we say, online and there, because we'll get censored, we'll get banned, or worse, it could be hazardous for our health. It could be dangerous, right? And then you have the politicians that are basically puppets to the super elite. They just have to do what they're told, and if they don't, they get made a fool out of in the news every single day, and then they just get replaced by someone else. Oh, you didn't do a good job of this whole thing that we're doing this year. You made it look stupid. You said no one's buying anymore, you dumb bastards. You're out. That's it. You're out. And it doesn't matter. And then he thinks, well, I'll go and do all these things and get all these people to come in and the freedom idea and vote for me or whatever. But it's like what are you going to do? The system, like, this is not a new system. This group was formed in 1727. Let me repeat that. 1727. Okay? That's a long time ago. All right? That's no like little background, whatever. No, that's your world heavy duty players, that are involved with the things that are going. When you have Gil Bates, who's a knighted, basically honorary knight, there's a reason for that he's an honorary knight. He has masters that he serves. You might think he's worth 110 billion or whatever he's worth, whatever his amount is now. That is chump change compared to some of these people. It's chump change, okay? These people are not on the Forbes list. They don't want to be. They don't want you to know. And for most people, they won't know. But believe you me, there's a reason why he's an honorary knight. There's a reason why Fauci's a Freemason. There's a reason for all these things. Basically, it comes down to, it never really changed. We still have a king. We still have a queen. We still have, these families of the central banks, the owners. We still have all that stuff. And just that it's in the background and they don't make it prominent right up front. Unless you go to the drugstore and you see the magazines, like the Time magazine, and they have like the Royals on it, stuff like that. So to a degree, it's not going to be that bad. It's not going to be that bad, guys. I'm not a doom and gloomer. It's going to be fine. In my opinion, when I listen to Gil Bates, I hear him and I hear what he's saying, and I think they felt like they had to do something because of that overpopulation problem, which it sounds like was not going to sort itself out. So they're going to sort it out, and that's it. So you can hate them for it. You can do whatever. You can hate their tactics. You can hate the way they do it. But, like Prince Charles said, in my experience of doing this over 40 years, people don't change unless there's a crisis. So part of that plan and idea is introduce a crisis. Then you can solve the crisis and you can make the changes you need to make in order to make sure that things are under control. So that's what it is. Yeah, he is mad. You're absolutely right. So that's what it is. EO, what'd you say? I missed your comment. Anyway, we should probably get back to Walking Dead. You guys take me in all this stuff, but let's try to get back into. Yeah, Jeff, I know some of the stuff they do. I know, like especially the I don't want to mention the family names, but the 13. Some of the 13 do some really crazy stuff. But to act like these people are not ridiculously powerful is also a fallacy. That's also a got it wrong. You know what I mean? Got it wrong type of thing. So that's what it is. So okay. What else did you say, Evo? I wanted to look for your comment here. Let's see, and then maybe we'll get back to Walking Dead. So, Trevor, you had any strikes going to you by something too? Yeah, I have. I've got one after the video I did about identity politics this week and YouTube's changes for identity politics. Evo, I'm trying to find your. Yeah, you can call it that. Med1965 said problem, reaction, solution. That's David Icke's explanation. The Masonic explanation, which is way older, is the motto of order ab chaos, which means order out of chaos. So you want a new world order, you have to bring in new world chaos, and that's what it comes down to. So that's the way the magic works. Yeah, bring in a crisis, solve the crisis, the solution being what you intended to do to begin with. So that's how the formula works. Yeah, the alchemy works that way. Okay, so. Yeah, Jackie, without the internet, we wouldn't know anything, basically. We wouldn't have almost any information. And hardly anybody's going to buy books and actually read what they're going to need to know to actually understand what's happening. I think it's kind of cool. One thing that's good is that they do let us know what they're doing. It's not like Gil Bates didn't tell us what he's doing. If you watch all his YouTube videos, he tells you exactly what he's doing, pretty much. He tells you in the videos. I could even link them to you and show you which ones he's saying what in, and you could see what he's getting into. And it's what I just said before, so I won't repeat myself. Zim612, thank you, Zim, for the other super chat. Said, Trev, I like listening to you on all of this. I'm not trying to make you angry or anything. Will you go to a different YouTube platform, YouTube competitors? So I got Library going, LBRY, to back up the channel and all the stuff into Library. So it's all backed up, and that's good. At least for the last 3 years or so. I do have so much content here on YouTube. I have over 4,000 videos, which is a video every day for over 10 years. It's a lot of stuff. It would be very difficult for me to switch, Zim, and thank you for your support and everything. I don't want to switch. So instead, I'm going to try to censor myself and try to encode the way I communicate. Not to steal from the Masons, but I have to sort of masterfully speak. I have to encode what I'm saying or be very careful about how we phrase it, the phraseology of it. And I also have to be careful about taking sides. I kind of have to play the Joe Rogan approach, which is sort of defense, sit in the middle a little bit. And I understand why he does that now, because Joe Rogan is friends with Alex Jones. And Joe Rogan knows he's CIA. I guarantee you he knows that he is. So he'll get the inside scoop and the knowledge of don't go against it. He'll know ahead of time. Alex will probably tell him, don't go against it, because this is from up top. This is from these guys. So it depends. If it's something at a local level or a mid-level, like a country level, that's fine. If it comes from up above the countries, don't F with it. Because that means that it's something from that class, and that class doesn't play at the same class as we do, or the governments do, or the presidents do. That's from above them down to them. So that's where you can't get involved. Now, some of the groups that do get involved with that kind of stuff are typically, from what I've learned through research, are actually controlled opposition, a lot of them. So that's what you can say about that. Yeah, he talks. Zach's got it. Alex Jones talks about it. His family being CIA. Yeah, he's a Mason. He even says his family. There's all these 33-degree Masons in his family. He's CIA, and I think he's Bill Hicks. I just think he's Bill Hicks. That's it. Now I could be right about that. I could be wrong. But if you look at Bill Hicks's dad, if you look at Bill Hicks's mannerisms, everything, basically it seems to me like AJ is BH. That's it. It's that simple. So look into it if you want to look into it. But he is definitely an intelligence asset. There's no doubt about it. If an average person was going around saying the stuff he's saying, they would be silenced one way or another. He's able to do what he's doing because he's actually controlled opposition. He is. And so I don't hate the guy or anything for it. I understand. But the whole resistance idea of all this stuff, he's not really doing anybody any benefits, because to balance that out, there should be someone like me saying, hey, that's not going to do anything, okay? Don't bother. Somebody should be saying, don't bother. So at least for me, maybe that's what I can say, is I can put that out here. I don't know if anyone's going to hear it or not. Probably not. I don't have that big of an audience compared to like something like that. But my thing will be, just take care of yourself, be careful, and that's it. Because you know what? You're not going to be able to change it. You're really not. So that's what it is. Oh, absolutely he is, Zach. He's a pawn too. There's no doubt about it. That you could not think of a bigger pawn than him. 1776 is also the year that the Illuminati was formed, if you didn't know. Tip of the spear. Anyway, intelligence agencies. Anyway, so he absolutely is a pawn. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, he's working for them. If he was legit, he'd be like Bill Cooper, who's no longer with us. That would be the situation. He would not be alive doing what he's doing. He's able to do that because his family's CIA, like he admits and says. He's probably a Mason. He's probably a 33rd or maybe higher. That's why he's doing what he's doing. He's not just some random entrepreneur. Like, I'm actually a random entrepreneur, if you guys didn't know that. My parents were like teachers. They taught grade school. They didn't teach, they weren't like a professor at university or an oil tycoon or an intelligence operative or military. They taught grade school, okay? And nothing against them. I love my mom and dad, but I'm not from like one of these things. I'm just a random guy like you guys are. I'm not of a bloodline. I'm not of a family. Because these other people in the spotlight who you think are just random people like that, they're not. Their parents before them or people before them, or if they are a random person, they were brought in for a purpose, or they took their oaths, or they did what they had to do and they got into certain spots. And that's how it works. So that's it. DB Cooper, I don't know who that is. Damn, man, Hammer, who are you talking about? I was talking about Bill Cooper, who's dead. He's dead. And that's what I said. Bill Cooper's dead. What does that tell you? You know what I mean? It's not a joke, this kind of stuff. It really isn't. So, yeah. Well, I do what I do. Well, thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it and all that, and that's cool. But U.S. Treasury got hacked. Yeah, whatever. U.S. Treasury. Yeah, sure, Zach. Yeah, whatever. I even heard there's one that, what is the guy's name? Is it Wilbur Ross, who had bailed out the Donald, in the 90s. And he was a bankruptcy's agent for the Red Shields. So you could actually, without making a stretch, you could say that even the Donald was bailed out by the Red Shields in the 90s. Look it up. Wilbur Ross is the guy's name. Look it up. Look it up on Google. Now, how much truth is there to that? I don't know. But it's mind wars. They're actually just playing games with themselves. That's all they're doing. This whole resistance idea, they're just playing games back and forth. That's all they're doing. That's it. It's nothing more than that. It's just playing games. Anyone who's serious about that, will be taken out, basically, is my understanding of it. So there's nothing to do there, man. These people are just running a TV show. They're playing games. I'm not buying into it at all. So, yeah. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into. I'll just tell you the truth, Demand Hammer. I've never looked into DB Cooper. I have no idea. And I won't lie to you about it and pretend like I'm gospel or something. I'm not. I'm privy to being wrong, too. Because, when I first looked at InfoWars, I thought, man, this information is so good. This is the best information that you could get. And look at the studio and all this stuff. And I thought it was legit too. I thought it was independent too. I didn't know that it has all this CIA backing and Stratfor and all this other stuff behind it, Time Warner and all this other stuff involved with its inception. I had no idea that it was an establishment, anti-establishment deal. But I didn't know about counterintelligence and all that stuff. I do now. But it's mind-blowing to research it. It's absolutely mind-blowing, because you have to ask yourself, why would they set up their own opposition? It doesn't make sense. Well, they do it. So there's reasons for it. So maybe I could research it for. No, Maiden's got it. There won't be any civil W. There won't be anything like that. That whole side of things is just mind wars. They're just messing with people. And I think they should be more careful with that, because it's like the Anon group, the letter after P group. It's the same thing. You're messing with people. You're giving them false hope. And then it's like, whatever. It's kind of sad, man. It really is. I think so. So Julian said, hey, Trev, is there ever a time in history where people were truly free? I don't know. You'd have to go way back probably. But truly free? Probably not. Because once people figured out that they could run a racket on the others to protect them, which is all that all this stuff really is anyway, like protection rackets. It's the same thing as like kingdoms and stuff like that. You go around to the farmers and you say, you're under us, we'll protect you as part of the kingdom. You feed up to us and pay taxes and, give some of the food to others and whatnot, what have you. Right. So, is there ever a time where people are completely, truly free? Maybe people on indigenous islands that are like off hunting food and stuff. Maybe you could say they're free. So it's not as great as in some ways as you might think it is. Anyway, to be a pragmatist about it, it's sort of like an idea, but I don't know if freedom is really, it's sort of like a propagandized ideal is kind of what freedom really is. What it really is it's a propagandized ideal, and it's not pragmatically what people think it is. It's sort of a propaganda piece is what it is. So when some of the troops would go into the Middle East, like they would cry freedom as they're going in ready to roll the place, right? But they don't even know why they're even there. I know why they were there, right? You guys who watch the videos, you know why they were there. And it wasn't for freedom. No, that's not why they were there. So they go in screaming freedom. Meanwhile, they're rolling them over to put in a bank to incorporate them into the system, right? So it's like, yeah, freedom isn't free. It's not even, you couldn't afford it anyway if you wanted to buy it, right? Yeah, let's put it that way. Not only is it not free, but we don't have enough money to purchase it. So that's what it is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Petroleum wars and whatnot. Yeah. And every country has to have a central bank too, pretty much. There's still some that don't, but it's only, I forget which countries don't have a central bank, but it's not that many now. It's like, does Iran have one? I'm not sure. I think they have their own, but I don't think it's connected to the global central banking infrastructure. So like they're all connected, like all the different central banks are all kind of in league. Again, this has elevated these people above the country level because the countries are in debt to the private banks. So they've put themselves above and controlled the politicians to get them in. Because every 4 years you have a new vote in, right? So you have a new person come in every 4 years, whatever. Even if one person's righteous, the next person might not be. And so, there you go. So you get the Federal Reserve, you get the centrals in there, and you can control the money supply. And through the money supply, you own their fucking asses. That's all there is to it. You own their asses. And so the only thing we hope is that they be responsible with that ownership, basically. And I think for the most part, they probably are. Maybe they create a country here or there, whatever they want to do. It's like, yeah, whatever. It's not like anybody would be able to do anything about it anyway. So yeah, he is. Jeff's got it. He is BH. He is. Yeah, he actually is. I actually looked into it and I caught it. There's some stand-up comedy performances he does where he does this. He does the exact same mannerisms at 15 as he does at however old he is now, almost 60 probably, in his 50s, right? He does the exact same mannerisms, absolutely. So it's him. I'm certain it's him. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Everyone's open to their opinion. That's fine. I just am absolutely positive that that's him. There's no doubt about it in my mind. Anyway, so... yeah. Okay. I feel like I had more Walking Dead stuff to get into, but anyway, I think we're fine. Yeah. Yeah. Newman Outdoors, guys. What is freedom? We have to have rules, right? Because then if you have pure freedom, then you're going to trample on other people's freedoms, right? Like if you go out and do whatever you want, how can everyone go out and do whatever they want without stepping on other people's toes and stepping on other people's freedoms? Zach, I actually don't drink alcohol really, and I make a point not to. I drink coffee and I do that stuff, but I try not to drink alcohol because it slows me down and stuff, and then I can't do the videos as well and stuff like that. So, yeah, okay, Evoy asked a good one. Evoy1001 asked about my thoughts about Anonymous. So again, Evoy, these are, in my opinion anyway, these are PSYOP programs that are being set up that people get to be a part of to keep them in mind wars and appease them and shut them down. That's the idea. Because wasn't V for Vendetta Warner Brothers? Right? V for Vendetta is Warner Brothers. Yeah. So they made it. So, and Warner Brothers is a big, is it AT&T that owns Warner Brothers now? One of the big conglomerates, you know, it goes up to the top again. So it's like the news companies. There's like 6 corporations that own almost all the news channels, right? all the different TV channels. It's like, yeah, you know, it all comes down into the pyramid at some point. There's very few independents. AMC might be independent, but I don't know. Maybe they're not. I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes. So there you go. So yeah, coffee's good, but I do like rum. My alcohol of choice would probably be rum, stuff like that. So Animaniacs. Yeah, I don't know of any social engineering in Animaniacs. Not that I know of, Wheeler. The Simpsons has some though. The Simpsons is good. They got some fun Easter eggs in them. That's for sure. I love The Simpsons, man. I haven't watched it more. They did the Stonecutters one. Have you guys seen the Stonecutters sing along in The Simpsons? Right? Hooky symmetric system down. And we do. The Stonecutters are just the Masons. That's it. That's all they are, right? So anyway, I'll have to find that song. Maybe one day we'll do a sing along to the Stonecutters song. It's fun. So that's good. Okay. So what were we doing for Walking Dead? Let's try to get back to Walking Dead a little bit. So no, I haven't seen the new reboot of Animaniacs. No, I just remember like the 90s version. So anyway, we talked about the Christmas Carol. We talked about the Christmas special. So those are good. Okay, Walking Dead bringing back one of its greatest villains. So the Walking Dead Chief Content Officer, Scott Gimple, reveals a project about one of the Walking Dead's great villains of all time. It is in development at AMC Networks. In the first decade of The Walking Dead, the group of zombie apocalypse survivors led by Rick Grimes had fought the dead and feared the living, including Woodbury leader, the governor, David Morrissey, Terminus, Cannibal Gareth, Negan and his saviors, and Alpha, Samantha Morton, and Beta of the Skin-Wearing Whisperers. All have died, save for Negan, and any one of them could be returning to the expanding Walking Dead universe. Quote, "We're working on something with one of the great Walking Dead villains of all time, and it's coming together," Gimple said during Walking Dead Holiday Special, now streaming AMC Plus. Okay, so maybe it is live now at this point. AMC Streaming Plus for the Christmas Special. Walking Dead has already wrapped production on Here's Negan, one of the 6 new extended episodes of Season 10, coming in early 2021. Here's Negan is inspired by the comic book prequel, which I have over there, of the same name, and reveals Negan's never-before-told origin story, flashing back to before the zombie apocalypse with his wife, Lucille, who is cancer-stricken. And so, let's see. So there's going to be some... Maybe in the anthology series is what we're getting at here with this one. So it looks like comicbook.com thinks that the return of a villain could be the governor. So we might see the governor come back in Walking Dead in the anthology, maybe do like an origin story for governor. So that could be really cool. Yeah, Jackie said it too. It's got to be the governor. Maine said the governor. Yeah, Lou's got it right. Who covered? Yeah, who covered up the electric car? Who made Steve Gutenberg a star? We do, we do, right. Hooky symmetric system down. I have to look up the lyrics to the sing along with the Stonecutters. But yeah, the Stonecutters are just the Freemasons. That's all. We have those in real life. Yeah, they're all over the place. And so it's good stuff. Yeah, Pinky and the Brain didn't Pinky and the Brain have 66 episodes? I think so. What are we gonna do today, Brain? Same thing we did already, Pinky. Try to take over the world. And then there's, like I said in a video I did, there's an episode called Them, where they find out the world already is taken over. That's a great one. And they go and there's like all these people wearing cloaks And there's like Kissinger there and people like that there. That's a great episode, man. Yeah, Skull and Bones. They find out the world already is taken over. It's great because that's actually true. It actually is, right? So anybody, that's how genius it is, right? People think they're free and they got all this propaganda to go through. If they actually wanted to do something, they would find out that game's already been, that ship sailed, man. You want to take over the world? Don't you know the world already is taken over? It's like, you idiot. It's like, just imagine somebody actually trying to take over. All of a sudden, they'd be like, what the hell's going on here? It's a big conspiracy. Oh my God, are these people coming after me? It's like, yeah, the world already is taken over, man. You're way behind. It's like, get with the program, dude. Exactly. I love it. Pinky in the Brain. Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut. We should do a review. So you guys got all these great ideas, right? Do a review for Eyes Wide Shut. That's a great idea. Yeah, he didn't live long after the showing of that, right? You guys know the story of that, right? He showed it to the network or the studio, and then like he was dead like very soon after. I think was he dead before it even released in theaters? Probably. Actually, yeah, I think he was. Yeah. Yeah, he shouldn't have done that, man. He was okay doing Apollo 11, but doing Eyes Wide Shut, it's like, no, don't think so. See, again, you can go with the program, but you go against the program, and it's very bad for your health, man. Stanley Kubrick, yeah, absolutely. So he's one of my favorites, no doubt about it. I like to watch his stuff. Clockwork Orange is cool too. Men on the Moon, Men on whatever. That's a cool one. Yeah, Clockwork Orange is really good. Absolutely, yeah. Well, it's not, Wheeler, it's not deep state. I hate that term, deep state. It's such a stupid term. They don't give a shit about individual states. You know, it's like, no, okay, these guys are not one state. Okay, the monarchy is not one state. The monarchy pervades all states, all nations, basically, except for maybe like North Korea or like maybe Iran. But aside from that, basically everybody else will bend the knee to these guys. So I hate the term deep state like it's internal to the U.S. They do have the intelligence agencies, which is kind of what you mean by deep state. But the intelligence agencies feed up into the committee and the Royal Institute of International Affairs. So I'm not a fan of deep state. Like it's like, oh, deep state. It's like whatever. It's like those people are just like us. They're not the oligarchs. They're not the rulers. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, it wouldn't be deep state who would have taken care of Kubrick. It would have been higher than that they would have ordered it. That's it. Yeah, they are, Jeff. That's right. Exactly. So, so Governor might come back then in Walking Dead anthology. So that could be really cool. Want to see that? I think that would be great. Thank you, Mary Girl Moody. I appreciate your support, and you're awesome too. And have a happy holiday to your family as well. So I think that's the different topics for Walking Dead that we were going to get into. So we have Woke 2. We had Woke in Walking Dead World Beyond, and now we're getting Woke on YouTube, right? All the channels that are going to be promoted are going to be identity based starting in 2021. So it's going to be WokeTube. Yeah, absolutely. So I'll still be here. I'll be happy to get my, 500 views a video or 1,000 views a video. That'll be great. And they can all enjoy getting, 10,000, 100,000 views a video for doing absolutely nothing insightful or anything useful, right? So Carlos Danger said it's only going to get more severe when the Dems take over. And I agree with that. That's true. So I just think that it took the oligarchs a while to get the internet under control because a lot of them are so old. I think a lot of them don't understand it. They're like, a computer? Like, how do I use like George Soros using the computer? It's like, I know how to use a computer, sorta, kinda. Hey, IT person, come over here and do this for me, would you? Hey, you, come over here and do that for me, would you? It's like, I just think they didn't understand how fast the world had changed until just recently. And because of their age and everything, finally they figured out like, okay, we need to like control this. This is how many people are watching Joe Rogan? 20 million people. Okay, we need to make sure he's not doing anything he's not supposed to do, right? So, yeah, that's it. So, okay. Oh, there's one. Bringer of Rain 6 asked me about Gemantria. So Gemantria is pretty cool. If you guys know what Gemantria, you say Gemantria. I think that's how you say it. Gemantria is pretty cool. It's a way to convert into numbers. It's like an encoding scheme, right? It's Gemantria. So you can have number equivalents in Gemantria to words and to phrases and things like that. I think Alex Jones is 33 in Gemantria, isn't it? I think so. Let me get a Gemantria calculator real quick right here, and I'll try Alex Jones in a Gemantria character. Let's see, Gemantria calculator. Let's type in. I can't share my screen because of the type of stream we did here today. But let me just try this real quick. Gemantria, insert phrase, Alex Space Jones. What is it? Is it 33? I'm trying to remember. I think I did that before. I thought it was 33. No. Maybe I'm tripping on that one. Anyway, let's try without the space. Anyway, Gemantria is pretty cool, and there are people that focus on that heavily. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I'm misremembering that. Or you have to like add it down or whatever you do with the number. Anyway, with Gemantria, see, this is why I don't get too into Gemantria, is because you can do different things with numbers. And so for all letters here, results only calculate. You can do different things with numbers and have them equal different things. So that's why I don't really get too much into it. But I do understand what it is, and I do understand how it works in numerology, and they do that also. So there is some truth to it, but here's the problem with it. You can't really use it to convince other people of anything much, really, because you can, like I have almost a minor in math in university, a top university here in Canada, and you can do a lot with numbers. You can make numbers equal out to different things or reduce them down to significance and stuff like that. But it's very difficult to use that to convince anyone of anything. However, yes, the super elite do often schedule things based on significant dates in numerology and there's different ones they have. Gemantria, you could do, sometimes they use astrology to set things up, like during different significant astrological dates, astrological periods. They will schedule things based on that sometime for some of the things they're doing. But you can do a lot with numbers. That's the problem, is that you can do a lot with them. So you can kind of take somebody who's more advanced and show them the numerology and they'll get it. But to basic people, they'll just think you're playing games with numbers. They won't understand it. They'll be like, I don't understand how that means anything. But yes, I believe, in fact, I know they do actually from some of the reading I've done. They actually do. They're heavy into numerology. They have number representations for different things. And it's part of like the communication. They can sort of communicate things in code with numbers as well. So yes, it is absolutely a thing. I don't have any great on-hand examples for you. You can look up numerology, Gemantria, and different significant events that have happened in our world. Now, I don't think that's because there's a supernatural aspect to it. I just think it's because they schedule based on numerology, and they will sometimes report things based on numerology, and they'll use that for significance for them. So that's what I'll give you for that. It is very cool if you become an expert in it, but you can't for yourself, but you can't use it to convince other people of almost anything because they won't get it, or they'll be like, well, yeah, but that could be a coincidence, whatever. It's too arbitrary, or it's too, anyway, there's some people that are really into that. Some people that are kind of experts on that memorize all the dates. They know all the numerology breakdowns. They know all that stuff, and they're really into that. You'd think that I would be because I am a math guy, but I'm actually not, because psychologically, I don't think you can convince people of anything using that. Because there are coincidences with numbers, especially when you reduce them down and stuff. So it is interesting stuff, and I do think they do that. But, well, in fact, I know they do. But I don't go into it too much because people would be like, so what? That doesn't mean anything. That would be their response, at least for my audience. They'd be like, you're crazy. It would just make you look even more crazy, basically. To my audience is the way I see it. So, yeah. Dan Manhammer said, Trevor, some of the elites hundreds of years old or maybe older. Well, some of them, David Rockefeller was 102, wasn't he? Or was he 102 or 103? So a lot of them live very long lives. Yeah, a lot of them living in their 90s, hundreds. That's not very common. Like, how many people live to be 102 or 103? That's not very common. That is a very long life. A lot of us will not live to be 102 or 103. So, yeah, they do have things that they can do to extend their lives and to monitor their health and stuff. They don't get the same health care that we do. And, well, some of these people are very important. Even when they get older and stuff. Like, how old is Kissinger now? I don't know, but I would not be surprised if he passed 100. We'll see what happens. But yeah, and there's stuff like that too, Jeff, as well, that we won't get into too much. But there could be stuff like that they do to get the growth factor or things like that in it and extend their own time, right? Absolutely. But I'm not going to get into the letter after P idea of they're being taken down and they're not getting theirs and all this stuff. It's like, okay. I'm pretty sure they're probably still getting it. Maybe there's some withdrawals. Maybe they're not getting as much because supply is a little bit shorter because everyone's on house arrest, basically. But yeah. Yeah, exactly, Mike. You're right, too. And there's even things we can do, like eating more veggies and stuff can extend your life on average by 4 or 5 years, I think, being a vegetarian. So eating a lot more veggies, not eating as much meat is a good thing to do. You can extend your life that way. They have other things they do that might be illegal or might not be, available to us, which is fine. But yeah, and then, of course, if something happens, they can get private health care and people on them right away to help them instantly, which helps as well, too. So yeah, there's different reasons for it, I'm sure. But yeah, so Matt goes full out. Matt goes right into it. I'm trying to stay closer to, and I don't disagree with you, Matt, or any of you guys. I'm not disagreeing with any of you. I'm just trying to stay closer to what's kind of like more in the realm of what people would understand. I'm well aware that it's like Clockwork Orange, where they're drinking the milk and stuff. It's like, I'm well aware of these concepts. I just, and maybe they do it. It's like the Dracula idea. Maybe they do. Vlad Dracul. But yeah, I try not to get too into it myself or say too much about it online because we got to be careful, right? So that's all. Yeah, okay. So Demand Hammer said, no, I mean, you think they're immortal, not really dead. I don't get into any of the reptilian or alien or they're half demonic or they're whatever. You would need significant proof to show anybody that they are. And I just pretty much will go with the term to say that I just think they're jerks a lot of times. And I don't think they're of any, significant whatever. I don't know if I buy into any of that stuff. You'd have to prove it to me. If anything, that stuff might be counterintelligence. It might be nonsense. I don't know. But I'll just say that they're just, of certain bloodlines that are super successful and know how to keep it in the family and know how to keep their portion and how to control others and how to rule over others. That's what I'll say. Okay. But I don't think that there's any supernatural element there or anything like that. Keep in mind, they were the ones who kind of invented the alien concept. The War of the Worlds was H.G. Wells, and he was a member of the committee. So these are the guys that created the Greys and different ideas like this. In my opinion, anyway, they're the ones who created it anyway. So I don't really buy into it. Oh, Jeff, is he 97 already? Is Kissinger 97? Wow, I didn't realize he was so old at this point. I thought he was younger than that. But, well, there you go, right? Maybe he'll be 105 or 110 by the time he gets up there. Maybe he will. I don't know. Yeah, they're basically godless. That's true about that. I do agree with that. So, yeah, all the vampire-like shows on AMC years back. Well, I like the vampire shows. I don't hate any of the, like, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Angel. I like that stuff. I grew up with that stuff on TV, so I like it. But yeah, does it have sort of some occult symbology in it, like drinking blood, this kind of thing? Maybe, because there are covens and things like that do that, and they're not all higher up. They could be just anarchy level wherever. There are covens that do stuff like that. So yeah, there was one too. Was it John Benet Ramsey? She said that there was people like doing things to her in cloaks and stuff like that before what happened to her actually that was on Christmas, wasn't it, when that happened? So yeah, she had reported that there was people in cloaks, doing things to her or whatever. So, I don't know, man. Got to be careful with those groups, man, like covens and stuff like that. People that do that stuff. Yeah, man, it's very, very scary, very dark stuff. And yeah, not good stuff. So Big Game wants to know what the Walking Dead Christmas special is. So it's on AMC Plus. They're doing like an extended episode. I guess it's like a Talking Dead episode. Maybe it's not extended, but they're doing a Talking Dead episode. And there's Emily Kinney, Beth, she's going to be there. Lauren Cohen's going to be there. Some others going to be there. And it's like a Talking Dead segment that they're doing. So that's going to be pretty cool. So, yeah. Manhammer says, don't eat the McNuggets, Trump. I don't know. So, actually, MJ hated the Entertainment Elite. Who are you talking about, Milk? When you say MJ, do you mean Michael or do you mean, Michael Jackson, or do you mean Michael Jordan? Which one do you mean by MJ? Are you talking Jackson? So if so, just let me know. I just want to hear what you're saying about that. So yeah, I think he did actually at some point kind of turn on them. If you're talking about the king of pop, if you're talking about him, then yeah, I think at some point he got tired of what they were doing or whatever. Yeah, man, it's definitely some dark occult. Yeah, you're talking about him. Some dark occult influences with him. They also did kind of a race change with him too, if you notice. They took him from originally he was, African American full out, you could tell easily, and they kind of turned him into a white lady almost at the end. And then they did that with Jenner now too, right? It took him from Olympic man turned into a woman. So it's like, what the hell? So yeah, man, crazy stuff they do. Yeah, it's just like that always freaks me out is the sex change stuff that they do with some of the celebrities, like where they take grown men and they'll adjust or stuff like that. It's just weird to me. Not that people aren't when they're younger and stuff. Not that doesn't naturally happen to some people. Some people identify better with one or the other. So I'm nothing against that, but it just weirds me out the way they do it sometimes with some of them. Yeah, like the Jenner one that they did. Horror Story Apocalypse was about the Antichrist and Illuminati. So I don't know. I never saw that one. I haven't seen it. No. They're demonic. They had hand signs, which are all satanic. Celebrities, politicians, Hollywood, ritually, etc. Said Med 1965. Yeah, they're definitely anti-Christ. I'll say that. Or they're anti. They don't like Christianity at all. They hate Christianity. Absolutely. They're totally against it. That's right. Law of reversals, said Evil. Yeah. Yeah, they do that too. They reverse and do things backwards. Yeah, that's right. What about Princess Diana? That was shady, said Demand Hammer. Probably shouldn't talk about it, but I think if you just research it. I mean, just think about what she was getting into if she didn't know anything about this stuff. Just imagine if you were, a lady and you married, someone who was a royal and you had no idea what you were getting into. You had no idea the stuff that they do behind closed doors. You have no idea, how the world actually works. You think that your prime minister or your presidents or whatever actually make decisions and are actually in power. And you have no idea that that's actually only sort of true, kind of, in a way, like a little bit, right? It's just totally a different thing in reality to what people think it is. So yeah, absolutely. Right. Lawrence said the one for, is it Elliot Page? Yeah. They actually, Lawrence, they blocked your comment, which I don't know if I should show it. I guess I'll show it. I'll take the risk. Even YouTube is censoring your guys' comments. If you comment something which is about, LGBT plus whatever, they'll censor it. They won't even show it in the chat. That's crazy, man. Absolutely. So I think that's everything we wanted to go over for Walking Dead, guys. So it's good stuff. And I'm excited for Walking Dead to return. I still haven't watched many of the table reads. I know they're doing the best they can to promo their episodes and stuff. So it's what it is. They're trying to do their thing, right? They're trying to do the best they can. We just got put into another lockdown here again. So that's all stores except for essentials, grocery stores and whatnot are closed again. It's really crazy to hear about. They're going to be closed until after Christmas. All the shops here are going to be closed until I think sometime in January, when if everything goes according to plan, they'll probably reopen them. But it's crazy. Another lockdown, that whole thing. And I just feel sorry about people who work in physical shops and stuff. It's like, damn, dude. It's like it just sucks, man. Back in a lockdown again, man. So really crazy, man. Yeah. So it's what it is. Jeffrey B. Lane said, Trudeau is Fidel Castro's son. True fact. Is he? I haven't looked into that, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if he was if his bloodline was partly related. It wouldn't surprise me at all, but I haven't looked into that. Is he really? Like, have you looked into it and that was your conclusion? If so, that's actually kind of cool in some ways. Thank you, Maiden. Happy holidays to you and your family, and happy holidays to all you guys and all your families. The Royals are high up the illuminated triangle. Yeah. Med 1965, every member of the committee of 300 is illuminated, every single one. So if you want to get into this committee, you have to be illuminated. So there you go. So yeah, they all are. All the higher ups are. Yeah, man, it's really crazy. It makes me think about the Donald and people like that and think like, is he illuminated? Is he not? He does this upside down. Have you guys seen him do this upside down triangle thing, the Donald? He does that all the time. If you look at pictures of him doing the upside down triangle, he does that. I think it might mean that he's controlled opposition, is what it might mean. So he's an inversion of kind of like the freedom idea. He's an inversion. He's actually not, but he's controlled opposition. So he's pretending to be against them, but he's actually not, which would be the same as Mind Wars or Info Wars would be the same kind of thing, if that's the case. So yeah, but you see the Donald do that over and over again. You think like, wow, that's a weird hand signal, man, that he's doing over and over again. Your hands don't naturally go into this kind of position like this, not naturally. So yeah, I'm just looking at some of the names here. So okay. Yeah, Jeffrey is adamant that Trudeau is Castro's son, right? Well, maybe. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me at all based on the way bloodlines work. It would not surprise me whatsoever. They can trust each other better than they can trust outsiders, I think. That's probably very true. Okay. Anyway, yeah, maybe we won't go into some of the names, but yeah, they're all illuminated as well. Yeah, that's how that works. Okay. He's telling the elite he's with the elite. Yeah, that's probably true. That the hand signal is that he's controlled opposition president. So yeah, check it later, Red October. Just Google the Donald and triangle upside down, and you'll see it. He does it all the time, all the time. There's got to be a meaning to it. You wouldn't normally do that. Yeah, thank you, Darcy. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button, guys, and thank you guys for joining. Any Walking Dead questions before we wrap tonight? I had fun. I thought this was a good one with you guys. I don't know if maybe we'll do another live stream on Christmas Day or something, or in and around that. But I think I'm actually working Christmas Day this year. So yeah, so maybe not Christmas Day itself, but something like that. Let's see. So just waiting for you guys. Any final Walking Dead questions before we wrap up? And then we can kind of wrap here for tonight, I think. Yeah, that was pretty good. Well, we went for 90 minutes, so that was quite a while. So, yeah. Did we ever find out what happened to Heath, said XX Wally. Well, we might see him back in the movies, but no, they never did answer that. They never did follow up on that. Christmas Zombies, said Red October. Yeah, Christmas with Zombies. Yeah, you stay safe out there too, Guts. And I guess we'll wrap for tonight, guys. Zach, Walking Dead's returning the end of February. The Christmas special's on AMC Streaming Plus, so you can watch that if you want to see that Talking Dead episode. And that's that. And okay. Yeah, nice, Jeff. Yeah, nice. Okay, guys, be safe. No, imagine. I don't think they are. No, I think they're made up. They're demons, if anything. But maybe we'll do a video on that. So, okay, guys, I'll have some videos coming for you soon. We'll do some reviews, stuff like that. And, maybe at least one Walking Dead video a week, or maybe a couple Walking Dead videos a week here and there. So I'll let you guys go, guys. Have a week here and there. So I'll let you guys go, guys. Have yourself a great night. Check out AMC Streaming Plus if you want to watch their Talking Dead episode. Stay safe out there, guys. And have a happy holiday season for you and all your families. Thanks for joining again tonight, guys. And have another video coming for you guys soon. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.